Hello, good evening, and welcome back. So this is what Jordan Peterson was speaking about when he talked about compelled speech with Bill C-16, about not wanting to be told what to do, of requiring to acknowledge people by their preferred pronouns, as then it isn't just a freedom of speech if you can't say certain things, but now it's compelled speech of you having to actually actively say certain things. And here we have an example in the United Kingdom of Maya Forstater, who has lost tribunal attempt over transgender tweets. Yes, similar to Meghan Murphy, of course, for being banned off Twitter for saying men are not women. Ms. Forstater here has lost her job after saying that people cannot change their biological sex, and she's even lost an employment tribunal, which isn't a legal precedent per se, but it definitely makes people more wary about trying to come forward afterwards, saying, well, so as in I'm required to say certain things which are patently false, blatantly false. They are biological lies, they are scientific lies, in terms of saying that a biological man is now a biological woman. At that point you can go down what Joe Rogan has talked about saying, oh, so now this biological man who used to be a biological woman, does that mean that they were always a biological man, even when they were pregnant? And then where does it stop? And of course it can't, because you can never get to the bottom of these. It's just oppression Olympics and virtue signaling the whole way down. So Maya Forstater, 45, did not have her contract renewed after posting a series of tweets questioning government plans to let people declare their own gender. She is, as has already been described, as a TERF, that is to say a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. That, yes, at this point the left are eating their own, so obviously I sympathise with those who are struggling with it, but they did bring it upon themselves. It reminds me of Solzhenitsyn's writing to say that the people that he met in the gulags were saying, well, what have I done to bring it upon myself? Instead of saying, oh, it's because of Hitler and Stalin, it's actually what little acts of evil have I done to propagate life to put us towards hell? What am I personally responsible for me to end up in this godforsaken place? And I think it's the same with the TERFs. Ms. Forstater believes trans women holding certificates to recognise their transgender identity cannot describe themselves as women, but that view is not worthy of respect in a democratic society, a judge said. Yes, there are now views, well, I mean, there have been for a while, which are apparently not worthy of respect in a democratic society. Classic would be Holocaust denial, say, oh, it didn't happen, you can't even question that. And yes, sure, personally I believe it happened, but I don't see why you can't question it. Surely then it's good to say, yes, okay, here's the reasoning again, here's why we know it happened, and then that's good, because then when the next generation come along, they can say, yes, we all know that it happened and why and how, because we've been told, because it's been asked about so many times. And then you keep those facts fresh, and then it doesn't seem like a conspiracy or anything is being covered up, because everyone is open and honest with it, and then it doesn't drive the thoughts underground. So, Ms. Forstater, who had worked as a tax expert at the think tank Centre for Global Development, so unrelated to this, basically, was not entitled to ignore the rights of a transgender person and the enormous pain that can be caused by misgendering, employment judge James Taylor said. So this isn't a privilege anymore, or a request just to be civil. No, this is a right. It is a right to be addressed how you want to be. It is a right to not have any pain caused to you. That's your right. Not a privilege, but a right. Ms. Forstater was absolutist in her view, according to the judge. So, yes, just like the vast majority of everybody else. It is a core component of her belief that she will refer to a person by the sex she considered appropriate, even if it violates their dignity, who cares, and or creates an intimidating, bullshit, hostile, bullshit, degrading, not even close, humiliating. Are you saying men are better than women or women are better than men then? Or offensive environment. Who cares if it's offensive? Just leave. Just move. Toughen up. People don't care. The vast majority really don't care. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It's like, oh, Merry Christmas, that's offensive. No, it isn't. Single-digit percentage find it offensive, and they're normally offended on the behalf of other people. So no. So the approach is not worthy of respect in a democratic society. But now J.K. Rowling got involved, also its turf, tweeting, because now tweets are news, yes I know. Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you, live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real. Hashtag I stand with Maya, hashtag this is not a drill. And of course she got backlash, and this has been on the radio stations news all day as well. So Miss Forstater, who raised more than £85,000 through crowdfunding to pay her legal bills, said in response she was blown away by the support and interest in her case. All I ever wanted on this was for people to be able to talk about the policy questions around sex and gender identity in a normal, open, democratic way. That's that right back at him. But as we see, even her solicitor, Peter Daly, said the significance of this judgment should not be downplayed. Had our client been successful, she would have established in law protection for people on any side of this debate to express their beliefs without fear of being discriminated against. But now the language police are coming. They are closing in. The walls are closing in. The net is tightening. And that is always to be expected. The slippery slope fallacy is not a fallacy, especially when it comes to limiting freedoms and freedom of speech. Who decides what is acceptable and what is not? And how can you trust them to know what they're talking about? And to be just. After all, justice is blind.